Hello everyone! Today I would like to share with you my 10 months old journey with Stashaway. I actually wanted to wait until like 1 year to review on this app. Maybe I will do another video again when it reaches 1 year. So because right now I'm going to add some more deposit into my Stashaway Simple, which will actually affect the whole amount of portfolio in Stashaway. So I thought that maybe I would share first at a 10 months point what kind of experience that I have and what kind of returns that I have generated so far. So yeah, so as you can see right now, I have 4,092 ringgit in my Stashaway portfolio. So scrolling down, and you can see that I have actually two kind of portfolio that I had. So what happened was that my journey started in November last year, where it was already half a year more than where since the COVID actually happened, and everyone has been talking about like, oh, right now is the right time to actually invest into the stock market, invest into whatever kind of investment it is. So as a background, I don't have any experience in investment at all. I have zero, like totally zero experience in investment, so I have no idea on how to actually start to do any share trading. I don't have any kind of like trust or unit trust fund or whatever fund it is. So last year November, it was the point that where I started to research a little bit more about it, on what kind of investment that we can actually start. So as a background, I don't have much like really a lot of excess fund that I have from my salary to actually invest. So I wanted to really start small so I can actually share my experience and learn something out from it, even though with like a minimal amount. So that was my background. So as you can see right now, I have actually two portfolio, because when I started, a lot of those videos or reviews that I've watched, actually for those like at my age group, those people actually went all the way to like 36% risk index, which I was like, is it really okay? Because I have no experience in this at all. So but everyone says that, okay, if let's say you are quite young and you have time to actually let your investment sit until that it provides you a positive return, so we should actually go forward with a higher risk index. So I didn't go all the way, as you can see, up to 36%. I went with 30%, and another one is half of it, which is 16%. Started from last year November. So right now I'm going into the general investing portfolio with 30% risk index. As you can see here, the steps here are actually like my journey and my deposits from time to time. So I started last year roughly October, end of October, with a deposit of 100 ringgit only. Then I have a direct debit every month of 100 ringgit, because I wanted to start small, don't have much fund to actually start a lot also. So as you can see, until December I have 300 ringgit in my portfolio, and the return was as such about 8 ringgit, 10 ringgit. I was able to actually see okay, what was my experience was, when you first deposited, you will be like, keep on checking every day, is it really generating the return that you wanted or as they promised and as many people actually claim it. So the first, as you can see, first few days or weeks, you kind of will be nervous a little bit. It is actually losing value, as you can see here, even 1 ringgit. It's a lot for me. I can buy a nasi lemak, right? So yeah, as you can see, even entering the second deposit, I have like a loss of like about 5 ringgit here, 4 ringgit to 5 ringgit, and slowly it actually turns into positive few ringgits also, and as you can see, towards the end of December, beginning of January, I actually deposited another, I think it's not actually from my fund, because I was trying out the Stashaway Simple also, and then I actually transferred some of my funds in Simple to both of this portfolio to actually zeroize my Simple investment, because I felt like maybe I should actually try to pull more my money into this portfolio to see that what are the actually returns with a higher capital. Okay, so here I actually added another 300 to 300 400 into my portfolio. As you can see, my net deposits is about like 699 ringgit, but my value at that point of time, 31st December of 2020, was at positive 10 ringgit at 87 cents, which I was really happy. Like wow, 11 ringgit extra. And so moving towards January, I deposited another 100 ringgit for my scheduled direct debit. As you can see here, the amount actually slowly increasing to even more return. The highest return during the earlier of the year that I have noticed is about like 50, 60 to 70 ringgit additional, which at that point of time I was like thinking, should I actually just withdraw them out so I can enjoy the additional 70 ringgit? So I actually totally, how to say, not sure how it works, to be honest, at background, whether if let's say I withdraw the 70 ringgit out, everything will be the same, or the 70 ringgit extra is actually being reinvested into something else that actually give you more return. So until now, I still don't have an answer for that, so you can see how clueless I am. But I will actually say that it was okay overall. Since then I treated this as like my monthly savings, like monthly compulsory savings that I need to make, that I will actually put it all into here as one of my portfolio in terms of how do I actually allocate my savings. And I've never actually withdrawn anything out from Stashaway up till now. So as you can see, the return for this portfolio itself, 30%, was quite good. 60 ringgit, 70 ringgit along the way, and then I slowly increase my monthly deposit from 100 to 200 each month, and 200 each month for each of the portfolio, to actually compare which portfolio actually give me better return. So as you can see here, the blue line is actually the value of the investment that Stashaway helped me invest it, and the green line was the deposit, the actual money cash outflow that actually came out from my bank into the Stashaway. So when you see that the blue line is above your green line, you actually can tell that is a positive return, and the value of your investment is higher than your net deposits. But as you can see, up to recently, I noticed that the blue line is dropping. This was like the lowest that it went after since the earlier of this year. So the lowest it went, like it was about 10 ringgit, back to 10 ringgit or 20 ringgit return. Of course, at that point of time, like currently also I'm like thinking, is this really works in a long term or long run? But I believe that because I also gained some experience from investing in share market myself in the local market, not really the professional way, but I know that markets are ups and downs, so I actually kind of assured that as long as I keep on consistently invest into this portfolio, this journey, then eventually it will actually come back into a positive return when the market recovers. So right now I have a total returns of only 10 ringgit, where the highest it was at 70 ringgit at the point of time. But this amount or this number change every day. I guess sometimes when I worry, I go into the assets allocation and see that which assets portfolio that actually contributed to the negative return. So you can see here China Tech is like giving negative 33% of negative return. So I think that, but as you can see, it is actually quite diversified, and I don't think that when you see that the current weightage for China Tech is actually quite high, it's about like 19%. So since that I have totally zero knowledge about investing on international market or international equities and stuffs, ETFs, whatever you call it, I felt that I was quite actually assured that things will eventually recover back to a normal or into a positive return state, because the market is having ups and downs, and there are a lot of issues that actually affecting the value of investment. So I would say that the point to note is that you don't invest your money or your fund that you think that you will need to withdraw it at any time into this Stashaway portfolio, because for me these are really, I didn't actually invest that much. I invested like about 200 ringgit per month right now for each of the portfolio. So I'm happy to see my savings piling up, because I'm really not someone who is very disciplined in savings. Like whenever I have extra money in my savings or bank account, I would be assured that I have extra to actually spend. So I find that this is a quite good way for me to diligently to actually put into some part of my monthly income into savings and also into portfolio, that which I believe will increase its value after a certain period of time. So they are advising that if let's say you are putting your money into this higher risk index portfolio, you actually allow it to sit in for a medium term to long term, which is minimum 3 to 5 years. So right now I'm proud that I have actually lasted 10 months, not even 1 year, but I don't have any near plan to withdraw this sum of amount yet, and I'm looking forward for it to actually increase in values or rebound back to its previous return. For me, this is like a value. The value that it delivers is not only the return part, but also the part that where I force myself to actually save a sum of money, where it has the possibility to actually increase in value, because Stashaway so many people using it, right? I think it will not go wrong. I don't know, but do your own research. This is not an advice for me. This is just my recommendation and my own experience sharing. So moving on to the second one, which is the be prepared for an emergency. Actually, when I adjust the goal or when I set the goal, I just simply click it on whichever that actually comes, because they will start to they actually started by asking me how much money I want to save or what kind of goal that I want to achieve. None of the goals that actually applicable to me. I wanted to save like maybe 10,000 in 1 year, but that goal requires me to save like 1,000 each month. So as you can see, this be prepared for an emergency portfolio, I'm having a negative return of 23 ringgit, which I'm quite upset about it. But because I told myself I wanted to put it at least a year to see that how actually both of the portfolios perform. So as you can see, the lower risk doesn't mean giving you like a stability or a better return. The lower risk portfolio, as you can see, the blue line is almost touching or slightly below or slightly above the green line most of the time. It was only in like June, July, August that it was slightly above the my net deposits, but right now, as you can see, it falls below my net deposits again. So I'm actually wondering, like, by the end of this 1 year, should I actually transfer all this amount to my higher risk portfolio, which proven to actually generate a positive return all the time for me throughout this 1 year, where I time to time check it. I guess that right now is in a really bad shape and situation. I would just put it and let it sit until like maybe a minimal loss or a break-even amount, then maybe I will transfer it or adjust the risk of this portfolio, because I have given like myself 1 year, and most of the time it actually proves that it doesn't actually give me better return, except these 2 months eventually fall back below my net deposits again. So I'm not too sure why. Maybe those low risk ETF are not that low risk after all, or maybe it actually didn't project or didn't actually give you that much return because it is supposed to be very stable, but it's not stable anymore right now, something like that. So yeah, this is my sharing for this almost 1 year journey with Stashaway. If you are asking me whether I would recommend it or not, I would say yes, because I don't feel any hit from the management fees so far. I believe they are deducting, you know, like behind the scene from where you can see your portfolio, but it's a very minimal amount. So they do actually send you statement for those who really particular about, you know, what kind of fees that they charge. You can actually go into those weekly statements, not weekly, sorry, monthly statement, and actually check out what kind of fees that actually incur from your portfolio. So far, I would say that I'm quite pretty confident with Stashaway and the way they are managing my fund. And when I have actually higher income, I will not actually hesitate to put more deposits into the investment portfolio to be handled by Stashaway, to be honest, because for me, I totally have any knowledge or experience in investing my own funds, and as my savings increase, I would really want to try out, you know, like different way of investment strategies or portfolios that has been shared around the net, and to actually try out and see whether it will actually increase the values compared to me savings in the bank account. So I would consider myself as a little bit of moderate risk taker. It's not very high, and also I don't have really that much time to actually manage or have my own investment. That is another thing. So this is actually everything happen automatically, and in the background I can actually focus at my work. I wouldn't need to monitor the share market, or, you know, like actively manage my own fund and investment. So I think that is a plus point for me. Yeah, I think that's all. Things for you to consider. Right now I'm going to actually put more of my savings into Stashaway Simple, because that offers me more return compared to my bank savings account, and also another way to force myself to keep this fund separately so that I wouldn't actually touch it. So I would say that you just need to take note, because last time when I withdraw from my Stashaway Simple, it takes about like 1 week to actually process that. So it's not like instantly like a bank, you withdraw and then you can actually get your cash out. So I would say that it's not to say not liquid, but a bit you need to actually allow the 1 week time for it to process your fund in case of any emergency. There is also a risk of you might actually withdrawing at a negative return. As you can see, if let's say I need the cash really urgently right now, I will have to suffer that much of a negative return, which I find it not worth it, because I mean, like, a lot of experts out there a lot of experts out there, they know how to actually allocate or manage their funds, or you know what kind of investment strategy portfolio that they should actually go into. So take this video as like a stash away for dummies. So dummies, I'm one of them. So yeah, so I think that's all. If my last conclusion is that, if let's say yeah, just try it out, maybe formulate your own experience and comment over it, and also, yeah, do some research, do your own research. I did some research, like 1 day research about Stashaway before I start investing. The customer service was like really amazing, and it's very seamless for me to actually get on board and start investing. So I look forward to actually share more. Maybe I will share more when it reaches 12 months mark, or 1.5 year month mark, including my Stashaway Simple. So yeah, see you guys again, and hope you have a great day ahead. Thanks for watching. Just an update for you guys. My portfolio right now is giving me a positive return of 72 ringgit in total. So my high risk portfolio is giving me a 67 ringgit return, as opposed to the previous 10 ringgit, and my lower risk portfolio is still giving me a negative, but the negative is much lesser right now. So yep, not sure why it's still giving me a negative. And I've also invested a new thematic portfolio that is offered by Stashaway, that is technology enablers, and I'm having a 3 ringgit positive return. So yep, thanks.